What is up, people? It is your boy Madolce Queen. I'm here with my first Salty Saturday. What that is where I want to talk about an issue that I have or want to address and want to bring to most people's attention. And today I have the issue of the respect between generations. And this is just something I want to throw my 2 cents in about. Now, I understand that us young people, I hear a lot of older generations say that the younger generation is very disrespectful and rude. And I can understand that when I see some videos. But people like me, I have been raised to look at issues and to reflect what I am given back into the person who has maybe disrespected me. So if someone disrespects me, I usually throw off a disrespectful attitude to them. With most of the time me not even knowing it until they try bringing it to my attention. Then I realize that's where that is coming from. It's usually because of it's going back and forth between the two. But I don't think that's the case for most people. One of the big things is that communication would be one of the most key ingredients to making a better relationship. Communication doesn't usually happen from what I see between adults and children, because most of the time I see that adults will look down on children and think that they are something less than what they can be, and are usually very judgmental and very oppressive, I'd have to say, which usually will translate later in life between them. One of the big things is that to solve this issue, listen to one another. Children listen to your parents, but parents also listen to your children. That is something that's big. In my own experience, my mother and I do not always see eye to eye, and it's because sometimes we just don't listen to each other. And in a very currently, we are trying to work that out. But it will take time, and that is one of those big things in the world that I'm seeing that has never been tried to be solved. No one's ever tried solving the problem. They've only added to the negativity of not listening. No one listens to one another anymore. Everyone thinks that they have their own opinion and that their own opinion is the right one. You need to listen to others and need to think about the different options that are out there in the world. I mean, I personally will not if someone tells me about a way to do something, I will usually consider it, think of the possibilities, and then react with it. But that is something I don't see others doing. They think if someone were to give them helpful advice like, hey, don't do this, or you should do it this way, most people will think, no, my way is the only way. It's my way or the highway. I cannot stand that phrase anymore. My way or the highway. I mean, why? Why does it only have to be your way? There's other ways to do something. You have to think of the possibilities. So today's generation that I'm looking at is very close-minded, and it's not it's poison on the world to think like that, and I want to bring attention to it. The biggest thing that I've already insinuated on is respect towards each other. If you are a mother and child or father and child, have respect for each other. Make a click. Do not think, oh, I am the adult. I am of a higher class of human than you. I can make you bend to my... That's not how life works. You can't make everyone bend to your will or be your... I don't want to say that. To oppress another human being. I understand some parents will probably see this and be like, don't tell me how to parent my child. That's one of those closed-minded things. You should listen to others, you know? Listen and think about the possibilities on how this could improve your relationship with your child. That's one of the things that me and my parents are trying to work out between each other so that we can just be a productive family and be able to love each other a new with a new, I can't think of the word, I can't think of it. But the thing is that parents need to try to show respect to their children, and thus, most of the time, children look at their parents and will see, you will notice that your child will pull on some of your traits. Well, if you show them a respectful and loving attitude, they will usually project that into the world, and then the world would be so much of a better place. But most of the time, with how society and how I've seen it been going, is it's not going that way. There's too much hate in the world. There's too much evil and rudeness and malice in the world, and I can't take it anymore. I regret ever turning on the news, because then something's happening on the news that makes me feel like I'm gonna have a heart attack, and I'm only 20. I mean, you can't. My video will not solve the world and create world peace. I know that, but I want it to influence whoever can watch it, and to try to make a better world. Try to make the world a better place for one another. I mean, that's all I ever want to ask for, is for people to get along and for people to love one another. I mean, I don't think that's something that's so bad to ask for. Another thing is communication. Most of the time, in my experiences and what I've seen, most people who are older than another are usually very demanding to someone who is of a younger or lesser age than them. And I don't like seeing that. It doesn't end well. That's why you have kids who throw tantrums, or because they're trying to reflect the same attitude that they were just given. If you're trying to tell them to do something, why is my phone going off? I need to turn that off. Hold on. So one of the big things is that you need to communicate better with you and your child. You need to ask them for things in a nice, civil, polite manner, instead of demanding, hey, go take out the trash. Hey, go do dishes. Hey, do this, do that, do the next. And sometimes some parents will pile on things on top of one another, and the kid will get overwhelmed. I can get overwhelmed. So I always try to take things at my own pace, but most of the time that's not good enough for parents and others. They want things done then, there, now. I mean, there's only so much that we as people can do, and especially on younger generations, you need to have patience. You know, that's something that is also needed in a good relationship, patience with one another. You need to actually try to think on, how is this person that I am with or associated with thinking? You need to think on how they're thinking. You don't need to think that everyone thinks the same way as you. I mean, not everyone has the same opinions. Everyone has their own individual personality and traits and their own them. It's themselves, you know? No one, I don't think there's anyone out there who is like me. My mother knows of someone that we follow on YouTube who she's like, that sounds so much like you, but I can understand where she's coming from, you know? I try to think in her shoes. She sees me every day and knows most of my traits, you know? She knows how I usually work. But that's the thing. Most people will not comprehend. They will just, it's closed-mindedness. You need to open your mind, you know? Think of the multiple possibilities in the world. Not your opinion matters very much, but others' opinions matter too. You need to look at every angle, not just through a keyhole. You know, there's nothing good ever comes from that. You know, nothing ever good came from someone who's out there and yelling hate. And I see it all the time on social media, all the hate that goes around. Like, I just saw something because of I see a lot of things now since the Super Bowl just ended. I see a lot of things that people post and the negative comments that people leave. I mean, I don't leave negative comments. I wish I'd leave something positive. I like to leave a positive trail wherever I go. I know people on who watch this, they will leave negative comments, and I will take those negative comments and I will try to address them. I don't know. Like, someone has actually called me fat. I mean, I have a little bit of pudge, but that's not my issue of today. That's for another day. But I'm comfortable in my body, and most people should be comfortable in their body. That is still another issue that I will go to next time. Um, but when it comes to us as people, we need to respect and love, and we need to stop hate. You know, hate is a disease that festers and gets expelled into the world of through social media, things like Twitter and Facebook. You know, you see it everywhere, and it's horrible. It makes me feel so bad inside. Even if I'm just looking at someone else and what people say to her, it makes me feel so bad for on me and for them. I mean, we need to come together and try to be just people. We are all human. You know, there's no. I'm very colorblind. Not literally colorblind. I'm very. I may say something, but I'm very open to everything. There's nothing that really messes with me. I don't look at anything as like that should not be allowed. That there's of course there's things that are morally wrong that I'll look down on, but there's things like LGBT. I'm very open with that. I'm not straight or gay. I'm more. Uh, I'm very asexual. I don't desire anything. But that's another issue I will go with, because there's too much hate when it comes to things like race, religion, sexual preference. I mean, there's too much hate in this world, and it shouldn't be. There shouldn't be any. There, there should be little bits that where something that's negative, you be negative to something that is negative. If something is trying to prevent you from getting something done that is essential to making a better place, uh, then you should go against it. If it's going to make the world a bad place, don't let it be there. It's too, there's too much negativity, and it's just so sad to see it all. I mean, we all need to come together and respect one another and be colorblind or religion blind. I don't know. I'm just trying to spread the word of kindness and sweetness, you know? My username is Madolce Queen. I love that because of where it came from and how empowering I like to say that I am the Madolce Queen. I look a lot, and people people have actually asked me, why don't you call yourself Madolce King? I don't. There. Well, where the Madolce Queen comes from, there isn't a Madolce King. So there's only the Queen, the rest of the family. There's no king in that picture, and so I wanted to represent the Queen, and I have actually heard of others who have used the Queen term, like Queen Latifah and Queen Bee. And one of the big things is that I read a bio on Queen Latifah, and she said the reason she chose the name is because whenever someone calls her Queen Latifah, it makes her feel empowered. And that is how I wanted to feel. I wanted to be known as having my own power. Everyone has their own power, and they just need to express it in themselves. And stop letting people put you down. Everyone is a beautiful person, and everyone needs to have their own voice. That will be all, because I could go on forever about this. That's all I have to say about this. Try to respect one another. Be kind. Be sweet. Be loving. Spread love. And that'll be all. And like I like to say in a lot of other of my videos, remember to stay sweet.